Classic TV fans, Rick9G here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about Three's Company, one of my favorite, if not my favorite sitcom from 1970. Now, it is one of the greatest shows of all time, and I'm really excited to bring you this topic because it is something that many fans of Three's Company have not seen, and that is the unaired pilot. We're going to be talking about something you probably have never seen in your whole life. And before we get into it, I want to thank you all for supporting me. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. That's how you can support the channel if you haven't done so already. And hit the like button to promote this video to others, as well as to see more of these videos in your feed. Let's get right to it. Now, let's start in the beginning. I mean, who doesn't know the main character played by John Ritter? Jack Tripper, right? I mean, who else would he be? Well, no, in this unaired pilot, he is not Jack Tripper. In fact, he has a totally different name, not even close. David Bell. Yeah, Jack's name was David, and he was an aspiring photographer, not an aspiring chef. We have other actors as well. We have the actress Valerie Curtin playing Jenny. This is not Janet, but it's the Janet character. So the Jenny character eventually evolved into Janet, played by Joyce DeWitt. We also have the character Samantha, who is played by Suzanne Zenor. Now you may think, who is this or what's going on? Well, Suzanne Summers played, of course, Chrissy, but the character of Samantha turned into Chrissy, and Suzanne Zenor played her instead of Suzanne Summers. Now, Audra Lindley did play Helen Roper, so nothing changed there, but we still have Norman Fell playing Mr. Roper, but his first name isn't Stanley, as we usually hear. It's actually George in this one. There's also a little supporting character here, as well as a TV announcer. We won't get into that much. I just want to talk a little bit more about what is really interesting and what is really different about this pilot, which we have covered just a little bit ago. Now, this pilot took place in a triplex apartment building in North Hollywood, not in Santa Monica, and because it is an apartment of three apartments basically stuck together, it is very different from the original show or from what we know is the show, because the eventual series, it was an apartment house with many units there in Santa Monica, but this one in the unaired pilot is called Hacienda Palms. Now, the theme song is exactly the same, except that there's no singing for the song. There's no real lyrics. In fact, the singers just sing da 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 dum. That's what they do. They literally do that, which is pretty surprising. Now, the set of the apartment, or the apartment set, it's a little bit different than the one we normally see in the series. Kitchen and living room are pretty much the same, but the locations of the girls' room and the bathrooms were switched for the series, and Jack's room, or David's room in this case, was adjacent to the window rather than the bathroom. Now, looking more closely at this pilot, it was shot in early 1976, and they attempted to adapt a British comedy called Man About the House into an American-friendly format, very similar to what actually was in the British sitcom, just made for American audiences. Now, the biggest difference between the two is the cast and the naming that I told you about, David and Jack, and the filmmaker and cooking. Those things are a little different. Now, what's also good and interesting about this one is that Joyce DeWitt was a florist as Janet Wood, but here Valerie Curtin as Jenny worked for the DMV, or the Department of Motor Vehicles. Now, the blonde roommate, Samantha, she was an aspiring actress and model. Now, the gags are a little more naughty than in the final version of the pilot that we do see, or episode 1 as we knew it, and they did replace the characters because they thought that there might have been a little bit of an issue with just the actors. Not that they were bad, but it wasn't the perfect fit. Now, Susan Lanier became the first Chrissy, and that one was filmed in 1977. But then they made more changes, and they finally decided to put Suzanne Summers in it. So this is one of the first shows who essentially has 3 pilots, which is very unusual. Usually a show has 1, maybe 2, but not 3. And so that is pretty crazy and something really interesting to see as well. Well, I hope this was enjoyable for you. It was really exciting to bring it to you because I know a lot of people who are fans of the show don't even have any idea about this because this is not aired on TV. And so you can't really see it unless you have the connection. So yeah, I wanted to show this to you and as many images as possible. The pilot is fairly simple, not too crazy, but it has the similar plot of misunderstandings and things like that, which didn't really start with Three's Company. It actually goes back to other TV shows like I Love Lucy and Gilligan's Island. So this is not something that was created by Three's Company. Oh, no, it came way before it. Thanks so much for the support as always, and most importantly, be hopeful. Thank you so much to my supporters, especially my Diamond Tier patrons, Terry Y, Jerry D, Citizen Kane, Jennifer P, David D, Kevin K, Sally N, and Vito L. If you want to be on this patron list, go check the links in the description for a wonderful way that you can support the channel. Thank you.